All right, what is going on, everybody? Welcome back to another video, another men's college video, and another NBA draft prospect video. In this video, we're going to talk about Nate Ament, Tennessee forward, and projected top 10 NBA pick in this upcoming draft. In these videos, in this series, we like to talk about where they could end up, their play style, what I like about them, what I don't like about them, where they could end up. Um, and all the stuff that goes into making like a draft profile sort of video. So if you like what I have to say, like the video. If you have your own opinions, comment it down below. And if you just like the vibes, consider subscribing. Now, this is I won't say a deep cut. It's still a lottery pick, Nate. But the past couple, I've done like the top three, and there's some other names that you might come up before Nate Ahmet in the draft process. Caleb Wilson, Keaston Flemings, Darius Acuff. There's a bunch of players, but I was watching some college. I think it was a couple weeks ago, some college basketball, and a Tennessee game came up, and you hear these names in passing, especially when you follow like a bunch of um, pages and places on like Instagram and Twitter and Reddit, and you hear names, and I was like, oh yeah, Tennessee has that Nate kid, right? And he's supposed to be really good. And I watched him, and I was like, oh, this kid's really good, and I really like what he did. I really like the way he moves, and we're gonna get into all the stuff I like about him here in a second. But he's not. I don't think he's gonna be like a top. Maybe if he has a really good tournament, he'll be a top five pick. Um, he's one of the lone forwards down here when you get into the middle part of this draft. There's a lot of guards, a lot of power forwards, centers. He's the lone like small forward wing sort of player who actually plays like a wing. There are some others here that we'll talk about, or we might talk about in the future of this series. But for now, we're going to stick to Nate. And let me give you some data about Nate here. Freshman, he's 19 and a half years old, um, 6'10", really, really tall. He looks really tall on the court too. That's not just like, oh, they list him at 6'10". He's actually like 6'8", 6'9". He looks 6'10". He's a healthy 6'10". 207 pounds. Um, born December 10th, 2006. So yeah, um, when I was watching that game, this was a couple weeks ago. I don't think he had a particularly great game, and then I think I watched him again a couple days later, and he didn't have a really great game either. But I still liked what I saw, and then I started doing more draft stuff. This year, obviously, we have the series going right now, and I was like, I want to get to Nate at some point. So here we are. We're at Nate. Projected right now, as of recording this video, Monday. What's today? March 16th. March 16th. He is projected at 8 right now, going to Memphis, Memphis Grizzlies. I don't love that. We'll get to that in a second. I think there's some other places that he could go to and be better. For his stats right now, um, 17 points a game, 6 rebounds, 2 assists, 40% from field goal. And let me tell you, just some of the stuff, just optically, when I'm watching him, is amazing. This kid is something. And the first thing I notice about Nate, and it's very apparent, and I'm wondering if other people have picked up on it. They probably have, but in the draft comparison department, he moves a lot like Michael Porter Jr. He really does. The difficulty of shot, the mid range, the three, um, some of the same problems that Michael Porter Jr. had coming out of college, at least on the court, um, reflect in Nate as well. But the positives are there as well. And Nate plays the game so fluidly, so smoothly. One of the biggest things I have here um, on my little note sheet here is his awareness. His awareness of the game clock. His awareness of the situation he's in. Is he getting doubled? Is he running into a double? Is he fading away from the basket? Is he going towards the basket? Is he is he making the shot more difficult unnecessarily and weighing the option between an unnecessarily bad shot or taking one dribble and moving to the right and taking a much better shot? There are some concerns about his true shooting. Um, But from what I've seen, just visually, the numbers might tell a different story. But I like what I saw visually. The numbers, I'm not a big numbers guy. Um, I like numbers. I think they provide a lot of context. But when you're evaluating talent, sometimes you just need to look at a kid and be like, look at a player and be like, this guy just has it, you know. And will it translate at the next level? I don't know. Will it appear at the next level at some point? Perhaps, you know, maybe it could take a year or two for him to get back to the comfortability that he's at in college because when you are 6'10", you are one of the bigger players. You're operating at a different sort of level. The game appears easy. And then once you get to the next level, the NBA level, things become a little bit harder. It might take a year or two or three to really get back to that comfortability stage that he was at right now in college, you know? So the Nate you see in college might not be the Nate you get um, as an immediate out of the box product in the NBA, at least to me personally. Um, Another player that he sort of reminded me of, um, Mikal Bridges, just the size and the length and like the mid range shooting. Um, the percentages aren't great on the mid range shooting, but at least he takes them. I like the way he operates around that area from working his way out from the key to 2 point range to 3 point range to really deep 3 point range. And the really deep 3 point range brings me to my next comparison. Not so much in size or length, but in just play style alone and just like the audacity to take some of the shots that Ament takes. Jordan Poole. I saw a little Jordan Poole in there. And if Jordan Poole was a forward, I feel like he'd play like Nate Ament, you know? And I feel like if Nate Ahmed was a little smaller, he'd play like Jordan Poole. And that's not a Jordan Poole right now isn't like the end all be all sort of guard that you would really want. He's been moved around a couple times now. Can't really get playing time on the Pelicans. But the Jordan Poole I remember, the Warriors Jordan Poole and the Jordan Poole everybody loved, um, was when he was just taking wild shots, um, dribbling the ball in such a way to get the defenders off balance. All the positive things about Jordan Poole, I see that in Nate. And what Jordan and what Nate have is this innate how do you say creativity um, that they both display at varying different levels. Obviously, Jordan Poole, a multi-year NBA player now. Nate just coming into the NBA after this national tournament run here, national championship run. But we will see where he gets drafted. But both of those things, both the things from all the things from all these players, I didn't say both, all the things from all these players that I've listed, MPJ, Mikal Bridges, Jordan Poole, I feel like they're all pretty on the nose. I haven't looked at any other resources of like who people are comparing them to. I like to give my own sort of draft comparisons, you know, player comparisons, and then I'll go look at these draft comparisons draft comparisons at the end of the video from other resources. Um, yeah, um, like I alluded to, stuff I really love. The 3 point shooting, amazing. Um, the thing that not worries me, but the thing that I think might stun his growth early on is that if he gets to like a really bad team, no offense, like Memphis, where they don't really have a point guard and there's a bunch of young players and like there's no real system and like the system might not fit him completely, he might be a inefficient shot chucker at the next level for the first couple years of his career. If he ends up somewhere halfway decent where there is a system and there is a culture and there is another really good like young player there that can take the pressure off of him, I feel like the percentages and everything will continue to go up as his career goes on with that team. But he needs a point guard. He plays with a really good point guard right now at Tennessee. Um, and they vibe really well off of each other. The synergy they have is really good. If he can find that synergy or is blessed with that synergy with another guard at the NBA level, I think that would be perfect for him. That's in the perfect world, though. He's probably going to end up, if you're in the lottery, you're going to end up on a bad team. But some of these teams, you know, um, the top three sort of solidified right now in the NBA draft, the projected NBA draft. AJ Debance, Darren Peterson, Cameron Boozer, um, and then you get to four, and you can make a conversation for Nate, Darius Acuff, Caleb Wilson's out for the remainder of this season, this college season, with a hand injury, I believe it is, or something like that. He's not going to play the rest of the season. So there's room for Nate, for Darius Acuff, for Wagler, Fleming to move up the draft boards and perhaps get into the top five. And I would like to see Nate on one of these other teams, which we'll talk about in a second. The other thing I really like about Nate is I don't think he's an innately get it. I don't think he's an innately a really great passer. His numbers, if we go look at his numbers here, um, his assists are 2 assists a game, for 2 turnovers. So 1, 2 for 2 every 2 turnovers he has 2 assists, vice versa. He's not a great passer, but he moves the ball, and that's my other thing with the culture is and the coaching at the next level is if he is told, hey, you don't necessarily have to pass, you just have to move the ball. That's what the NBA is all about now. It's just moving the ball, and the ball will find you again, or will find the person that's open. Nate has this ability to find open cutters, to get the ball out of trouble. Just as a rule, just get the ball out of trouble if he's getting doubled, or if they're trying to take away from him, he can kick it out. He's tall enough at this college level to do that. I believe he'll be able to do it at the next level. It's not a hard concept to learn. It's just the defensive coverages, and instead of like kicking it out over whoever's guarding your teammate is what I'm saying. Instead of the defender that's defending your teammate being like a kid studying telecommunications, it's Marcus Smart. It's one of these other great defenders in the NBA, and those things don't really fly. But once you get that ability and the whole team's bought into that, I think that's contagious, and I think that's something Nate can completely buy into, and it's not a foreign concept to him. Even though if I am drafting him personally, I am looking at him like a scorer. Like I want you to go out there and be a scorer for us, put the ball in the basket, and the rest of the stuff we'll worry about down the road. For his percentages, 33% from three, um, takes four threes a game, makes one. Visually, I can see him taking more. Like in my mind's eye, when I picture him, he could get up to like 3 or 4 a game, making 3 or 4 a game, taking like 6 a game, taking 7 a game, because that's what the NBA is about. And the 2 point percentage is around 40. He takes 8 a game, makes three. So more, we're not asking you to take a lot of twos at the next level. Let's be honest. I know like the reigning MVP, the past couple MVPs love the 2 point shot. Um, Shea Alexander, Nikola Jokic, all these guys they thrive in that. I'm not looking at you to be an MVP right away. Out of the box, when I get you to my team, we're gonna work out all these kinks. We're gonna work out all these subtle things that you need to work on. And if you can be around 15 a game starting your rookie year, that's amazing. That's really good. And I would take that any day for like a top 10 pick. Or anywhere from 5 to 10. If you're a top 5 pick, I'm expecting a little bit more. But that's neither here nor there. We talked about the awareness. We talked about him needing a point guard. Let's move on to um, some of the stuff that other people think is really good. My reference for most of the stuff that I talk about in these draft videos is Tankathon. Thank you, Tankathon, for these thoughts and these stats. Um, they have his stat strength, uh, free throw attempt rate, really good, so that's good. Points good, draft age, assists, um, offensive rebounding and offensive rating. So he rebounds the ball well. I'm not sure if he's going to rebound it well at the next level, being 6'10 and being a bit, I'll use the word frail, being a bit skinnier. I'm not sure if he's going to get away with that at the next level, but maybe you never know, you never know. The weaknesses, the effective field goal percentage, 2 point percentage, the field goal percentage, the defensive rating, the turnovers, the true shooting. Listen, um, I'm not drafting this kid to be a defender. I'm not. If it comes eventually down the road, sure, great, lovely. If I'm not asking for it immediately, and you getting drafted to a bad team, you're probably going to want to lose again. You getting blown by in your first couple of years isn't bad. You start doing it in year 4, year 5, you start getting the Luca treatment, and people start looking at you weird. you at least need to attempt it. Um, I haven't seen a lot of defensive tape of Nate, so I can't tell you for a fact that I think he's just not trying, or that he just doesn't have that innate skill yet. Um, he could possibly get there. We'll talk about the teams where he could probably maybe become a better defender. We'll talk about the ones where he'll probably stay around the same. The turnovers, like we talked about, not a good thing. Is true shooting isn't the best, but true shooting is a mix of 2 points and 3 pointers, and those are both sort of eh. So um, nothing, nothing out of the ordinary. Um, since I keep yapping here about where he could potentially go and like what where he could end up, um, like I said, top three sort of solidified. Pacers, Wizards, uh, Brooklyn. Those are sort of set in stone. Um, where it gets real interesting is at four with Sacramento. Excuse me, I had to sneeze. At four, Sacramento. Five with the Jazz. Six with Atlanta. Seven with Dallas. Eight with Memphis. Nine with the Chicago Bulls, and 10 with um, the Milwaukee Bucks. Um, so I'm gonna take personally. I'm gonna take the Kings out of it. I do not want to see any of these players go to the Kings. I would feel so bad for any player that has to go play for the Kings. I apologize in advance, whoever goes there. Um, the Jazz, I don't think they need Nate. They have so many forwards already. They're going to be playing a weird lineup. They don't need Nate unless they want to bring him off the bench, which would be very weird. But I don't want to see him come off the bench. Um, the Atlanta Hawks is interesting because you have Jonathan Kaminga, you have Jalen Johnson, you have a couple wings too. Like you have um oh my god, the Great Barrier Thief. What's his name? Dyson Daniels. You have Dyson Daniel. I mean, Dyson Daniels. Uh, Dyson Daniels and like Nikhil Alexander Walker, both really good defenders, could cover up Nate's defensive bad tendencies. I might be able to sell. Well, you might be able to sell me on that one. Now, the one that pops out to me the most, and isn't even a reach right now because he's only one spot below him, is Dallas. I think Nate in Dallas would be amazing. That's Cooper. That's Max Christie. That's Derek Lively. That's a team right there. That's a team. And then maybe you bring Kyrie back for half a season. You know that's a team. That's really good. I really like that. That's very tantalizing to me. If I was Dallas, I would do everything in my power to try to get Nate Ahmet. As of this moment, the player that's in that spot right now is Darius Acuff, who is a point guard. I don't think Dallas needs a point guard necessarily. I mean, it all depends what they're going to do with Kyrie. If we're sticking with Kyrie for at least a year, year and a half, or half a season, I'm going to take Nate. I don't want to see him in Memphis. Memphis is it's just gone sideways. It's gone too far sideways, and I get Memphis is in Tennessee, and like he would be in the area, get to stay in the area, bring some like local fans from like um, Tennessee, the college, down to Memphis or over to Memphis. I don't know if I love that. I don't like Chicago, but the next one that interests me. This is completely subject to Giannis Antetokounmpo being traded. Is the Milwaukee Bucks. Um, getting started with a young core of like um, I'm blanking on all the names today. Damn, I can't think of names today. Getting started with like a young core, or whatever you get back in the Giannis trade, because you'll definitely get something back of like um, Ryan Rollins. I guess I, I forgot Cam Thomas was on the Bucks. Get rid of Cam Thomas. Let whatever Cam Thomas is doing, let Nate Ahmet do it. That's the gist of it for me. Ryan Rollins, Nate Ahmet, Miles Turner being part of a rebuild, I guess. Kevin Porter Jr. Just go out there and hoop. That's the go out there and hoop team. Would it be great for his development? Probably not. But he'd go out there and get shoot a ton of shots, and that's sort of uh, what he might need, and what might be preferable to him. I don't know enough about Nate to tell you. Um, the last thing I want to do here, what I like to do at the end of all these videos, is sort of simulate the draft lottery and see where these guys end up. I'm just going through some of this other stuff. Just of note, Nate Ament does lead this team in rebounding, 6.6. His Tennessee Volunteers in rebounding, just as a note. So let's simulate this draft lottery and see where Nate could end up. We'll do it 3 times and we'll see where he ends up. Right now, again, he is sitting at 8, going to Memphis. Do 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 do. Nate to Atlanta. I told you could sell me on that one. You could definitely sell me on that. You could sell me on that. Sim number 3. Here we go. To Memphis. We already talked about Memphis. And then the last one, click it right here. It's a long one. Wow. To Atlanta. So I guess he's sort of destined to end up in Atlanta or Memphis. I'd prefer Atlanta at that point. Um, but you already have like, oh my god, that'd be such a cram forward core right there. Because you have the number 1 pick, Zachary Richashay. You have Jalen Johnson. You have Jonathan Kuminga. That'd be so stacked. That'd be really. I don't know if that's what they're going for. It could work though. I don't know. Anyways, that's my Nate Met video. Something a little different for you guys this Monday. We usually do NBA stuff on Monday, but I told you guys we do some college stuff um, this Monday. So there you go. Some things of note on the channel. Um, there will be an Awa Fam WNBA draft video, my last video in that draft series for this year at least. Um, they're playing, Spain is playing US tomorrow, the women's team. Awa Fam is on the Spanish team, so you guys will get a video of that on Wednesday, hopefully Wednesday or Thursday. I do want to get you guys some NBA stuff tomorrow, so that'll be more NBA stuff tomorrow. And then we're heading into March Madness, and when we head into March Madness, I will close out this series, the men's college video series about the NBA draft prospects in college right now, so I can focus on that. And yeah, I think that's it. And the outro should be playing right about now. It should be up in front of you. Click this video on the left. It will probably be another draft prospect video. It's probably going to be about maybe Darren Peterson on the left. Check out my women's draft playlist over here on the right. And if you click my icon right in the middle, will pop up a subscribe button. You can hit that subscribe button and subscribe very easily. So do all that. Like and comment as well. And I will see you all next time. Cheers.